There are two ways, basically, to see the Buddha or to understand the Buddha, what he is and how we regard him. The first way, or one way to see the Buddha is as representation. Buddha as representation, which means that the word Buddha, the name Buddha, or the Buddha sculpture, the Buddha statue, is simply just a representation. It's a representation of something in nature. It's a representation of something inside of us. It's the representation of Buddha nature. It's the representation of that which is Parabrahman, you could say. Parabrahman is a word or a concept from India to cover and point to and explain that which is behind everything, or that which is prior to consciousness, that which is free from consciousness, you could say, that which is Buddha nature, that which is free from the world, free from the mind, free from the pollution or disturbance of mind activity, you could say. So the word Buddha is a representation of freedom in a way too, but not freedom in an American way. It's not that freedom. It's a little bit deeper than that. So the word Buddha is a representation for that which is free from the mistakes of the world, and the mistakes of the world is the wheel of samsara, or that which disturbs the Buddha nature, the human mind, you could say, or the brain activity, So that is one way to see the Buddha. Buddha as a representation of a nature inside of us. Buddha as a representation of something that exists inside of us or in this world. The Buddha nature, that which the Buddha represents. That's the first way, or one way. The second way is to see him as a teacher, of course, and this is what Buddhists mostly do. They follow him as a teacher. Buddha is a teacher, he's a doctor, he is a medicine, because the teachings of the Buddha is the medicine, or it is the teachings of the Buddha is that which corrects the patient, you could say, or the teachings of the Buddha is that which corrects the human being who is able to understand what the Buddha says, which is basically the truth when you dig deep, when you go into original, or what we perceive as original, authentic Buddhist philosophy. Not the watered down and sweetened and cartoonish Buddhist thing, but the real teaching, in a way, that everything that arises in this world arises because it consists of two things. I mean, everything arises because of there are a certain law or of origination. When you understand the law or the principle of origination, then you understand the true Buddha. Then you understand real Buddhism. That is the real teaching. But of course, there's there's a more cartoonish or camp or kitsch teaching part, which is basically that which constitutes the essence or the teachings that Buddhist countries follow. A typical Buddhist will follow the teachings, or try to follow the teachings, or use the teachings as a way to improve himself as a human being, as a person, as an intellectual, as someone who's capable of understanding things. So and the group who follows Buddha or sees Buddha as a teacher is a much bigger group than the group that sees him as a representation of something that is in nature. You could say that the Zen approach, or the yogi approach, the deeply Zen and the deeply yogi tradition is quite same in that sense. They see Buddha as a representation. It's just Buddha is just a word for that which the Buddha covers, and that which the word Buddha covers is the Buddha nature that is inside each of us when we let go of that which pollutes or confuses the Buddha nature. So for them or for us, we see the word Buddha as a representation of something in nature, as a part of us, maybe the most essential part of us. The most essential part, the most original, authentic, first aspect part of the world. The ultimate, the absolute, the Buddha nature, you could say. That which is the birth of Tao, you could say. Yeah. And some see him as a teacher. And the people who see him as a teacher, there are two groups in that group too. And those two groups are the one who sees Buddha as a god, or they treat Buddhism as a religion, which is very anti-Buddhist, because Buddhism means to understand yourself, to see yourself. And if you're lying on the floor and paying respect to the Buddha, then you're not seeing yourself, You're just giving yourself up to a ritual that is deeply, in essence, anti-Buddhist. Because Buddhism is to be without attachment. Buddhism is to be free from the slavery of the mind attachments that we usually perform and follow. So, and that you can see that in many Buddhist countries. If you touch the Buddha statue or the Buddha sculpture, that is completely taboo. You cannot touch it, and if you move it around in the house, I had some workers in the house sometimes, and I have many Buddhas in the house, and I move them around, just touch them and move them. And some of them get a heart attack or have a stroke when they see that, because the Buddha is succeed, you cannot touch it. But the real true Buddhism, as I see it, is of course to understand that the Buddha is everywhere. The Buddha is everywhere. It's not only on the top of the shelf, or in the bottom of the drawer, or in the kitchen, or in the bathroom, or in the golden room, or in the living room, or in the Buddha garden. The Buddha is everywhere, because the Buddha is a part of nature. The Buddha is just a part of that which reality is. So it doesn't matter if you move a Buddha statue and put it there or here, or if you put it below another thing, in some places it must be the highest point in the room. It must sit at the highest point in the room. You cannot have anything above it. If you have a photograph, for instance, above it, that is really blasphemy. To me, this is completely crap Buddhism. To me, that is non-Buddhist, anti-Buddhist. It means that you don't really understand what Buddhism is about, and you're not man enough or woman enough to understand that Buddhism is about you. Buddhism is about that you are going to see yourself. Buddhism is to make you able to see yourself. If you're not able to see yourself, it doesn't matter where you put the Buddha. Really, it doesn't matter. But you are superstitious. You cannot make a joke about something, and you cannot say the truth. Both of them are completely taboo and illegal. You cannot make a joke about that which is protected by the cartoon, by the cultural cartoon, and you cannot say the truth about it, because both of that is not welcome. They have to protect their cartoon. A country is a cartoon, and that's very typical of that which I call fake Buddhism. So some monks in Thailand, they understand this, what I'm saying, and they say that, sure, in Thailand there are 70 million people, but there are only 10,000 Buddhists. That's a very normal thing to say. But anyway, so that was a little word, a little something on the two ways to see the Buddha. Either you integrate that which the Buddha represents as a part of nature, or you see him as a teacher. And in any case, please reduce the mayonnaise, reduce the sugar and the salt and the sauce and all the things that makes Buddhism into a golden cartoon, because Buddhism is actually something that is very beautiful, and it's a part of nature, and it's really very important for people to understand, because it can make a person out of a person, it can make a human being out of a human being, because self-insight is that which does that, Self-insight is that which makes a man out of a man, is that which makes a woman out of a woman, is that which makes people out of people. So, that was that. A little word about the two ways to see these things. Thank you.